Hello guys and welcome back. So let's continue and add some more design to this, and what I'd like to do next is add this line here. You can see it, and then we're going to add some more detail from there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy something that we did already. Where did we do it? Search for dissolve. You can hit the question mark sign and that will open up the search dialog, and you can search for anything you want. Okay, so we're gonna do the same thing here, and I'm interested in these lines. First of all, let me fix a few things. Looks like this didn't get fixed. Cool, and let's add an end node. Roll. So everything is splines now, or primitives. I'm gonna select this edge and then Shift A all the way to the end. All the way here. There, and I'm gonna hit to what's happening. Okay, so dissolve node, and by hitting the tab dissolve and delete non-selected, and now we have this guy. And I'm going to template this, and what I'd like to do is I'm going to transform it a bit so it's not just a flat line. And I'm going to select a point here, or actually let's select a point at the top. So soft transform that, and I'm going to move it to the left, and let's increase the radius. Okay. And at the bottom I'm going to do the same thing, so soft transform that, and I'm going to move it to the middle. I'm going to increase this. You can see we can get very cool nice curves with this technique. Something like that, and I'm going to mirror it to see how it looks, because we're going to mirror that. So I think here is too much. Let's just move it a bit, and then this guy, move it back a bit. Cool. I'm going to convert this into wires. So polywire this. Give them some thickness, some details. And it looks like they're not the geometry is not good for the polywire, so I'm gonna fuse them, and let's resample them. Interesting. So it looks like the point number, the reason for this is the point number is not ordered correctly, and that's because it's coming from the mesh. So I'm going to sort them again. That's all. I'm going to sort this and use the Y position, and that will fix the polywire. Hopefully. Oh, let me check. Yeah, everything seems correct. So let's do something more aggressive to this. So I'm gonna fuse it. Let's do this before we mirror the geometry. So we just process one of them, and I'm going to sort them by height. point number needs to be correct now. Okay, let's try the poly wire at this point. And it looks like it's still not working in this area. So let me just make sure it's not the curvature that it's messing up this. Yeah, something is not correct there. So let's do this. I'm going to, after sorting them out, I'm going to delete everything but the points. So using an add node, I can say delete geometry but keep points. And then I'm going to recreate the primitive again. So use an add node under polygon. I'm going to change this to all points, and that should connect them correctly. So let's see if this works better now. Yep, it's working. So the issue was the primitive here is we couldn't fix it, so I had to delete the points. It's one way, doesn't mean that it's the correct way. I had to delete the original geometry and then recreate it again. Here I'm not liking the multiple points in this angle in those areas, so I'm going to fuse it and use a bigger radius to get rid of some of the points in there. Yeah, something like that. Cool. Okay, so let's mirror this instead. And now we have our geometry. And what I want to do is I want to use to do a boolean between this and the original mesh. So this is our original mesh. Let's do a boolean. Okay, so in this case subtract worked. I'm still, honestly, I always try various modes. It behaves differently every time, or in each case. So now I got the details I want it carved. I could go all the way in, but I think that's more of an artistic choice really. So the next thing, I'm gonna select these pieces and extrude them to add some more volumes to the geometry. So I'm gonna do it by hand. Select primitive, hit Shift A, hold down Shift A, and then we have the selection. And I'm gonna stop here actually. So just this part. I'm gonna extrude it a bit. And maybe give it some inset. Something like that. Actually, I used more polygons, so I'm gonna stay true to the original design I did. So I just cleared out the selection. I'm gonna redo it again. Okay. Cool, let's continue. The next thing, I want to add some more details here. So I'm gonna add something like we did with this line here. I'm gonna do the same thing in this area. And actually, I think I didn't explain how I fixed this, so I'll go back now and show you guys. And basically, I didn't do much. Where is it? So I didn't do much, I just played with the transform, so I have more interesting projection happening, and then I increased the radius of the poly wire, and I smoothed it as well, so it has nicer curvature, and then I used it with a poly wire that has more details, and then I use that with this. So we have cool details in there. The other thing I was thinking about trying, I don't know, maybe you guys could explore this, but I took the original geometry of the arc that we made and added a soft transform. Let me show. So this guy, okay, I added a soft transform, resampled it, selected one point and added a soft transform with this, and then I was thinking of extruding this guy or sweeping it along this, so we have some crazy geometry looping in there. It's giving me some funky results, which I don't like. Maybe that technique of the add would fix this curve. Actually, let's try it. So in this case, we would sort the points. They're sorted, and let's try this. Let's move this whole section. I'm trying to fix this winding, see if deleting all the points and recreating the geometry will fix this. I don't know. So delete it, recreate it again. Let's do polyframe, and still the same thing. There's a little bit of difference, but it didn't fix that. So let's. The idea was I wanted to do a boolean with this, so I'm gonna copy the clip and mirror this insane geometry and actually use it with the boolean. I know it's not something you would do, but it works. You know, you get the result that you need. You just have to get better geometry there and probably place it better, but it's one thing that you guys could try. Okay, so let's continue. I want to add another line here, or a design. You can see it. It's actually hard to read, but there is, yeah, this guy here. So we're gonna add that, and I'm going to copy this line and reuse it. So let's add a null. Let's add an object merge. I'm not naming anything because I'm doing this live, so I need to save time, but you guys should be doing it properly. So I'm gonna transform this wire. Let's template this guy, and I'm gonna flip it. Actually, let's leave it at its correct orientation, and I'm going to change a different direction. So I'm going to mirror it along this axis. And let's rotate it a bit. Obviously, the wiser workflow would be to actually create the curve from scratch. But I wanted to save time, so I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna delete these guys and just project this, what's left of it. I'm gonna use a ray node. Let's ray this on top of the geometry. Use minimum distance. Cool. And then let's wire that. I'm going to make it thicker so we can see it. And here you can see it's meeting at the edge. I'm going to select this point and move it out, and that point we'll leave it there. Actually, we can move it all the way down. Okay. And let's see what we get. Hopefully it works. Okay, let's see what's happening. So here I'm gonna change it to subtract. Swap this. It's working. There's few issues with the geometry, obviously, the input geometry. And let me lower the wire, maybe 8. Let's reduce its scale, its radius, something like that. And let's add a fuse here, and a fuse here. And let's take a look at the points. Okay, and you can see honestly I don't have a clear answer as to why it's giving me this this gap, other than it's not happy with the geometry, or we have to keep playing with the options here. So let's reduce the number. Let's move it out. Maybe it's not liking that position specifically. Cool. So I'm gonna pause and see if I can fix this. I'll probably have to do this boolean before this crazy guy, or you know what, I'm going to turn this off because I think that's the one causing the issue. No, it's these guys. So see, if I turn this off, this guy works fine. So let's do the other way. Let's do the sides first. See if that makes this node happier. Yeah, one of them is failing. So we have to do a few things to fix this. I'm gonna pause and see what's the best way to fix this, and then we'll continue. Actually, we'll continue in the next video. Thank you guys for watching, and see you in a bit.